Go live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing today? Say, sorry you can't make it, DJ Natty. Hi, Lars. Hi, Paul. Hi, Evil. Hi, Ken and Jose and PF Dennis and Mitchell and Tracy. Hi, Mr. Clown and Colin and Nathan. Derek and Remy. Steve. Chikaro. How's everyone doing? Mike 93 Apple and Jose, Chris, JP Gray, member for 2 months. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Ludwig and Jordan and Squirrel Brain. Johan and Jorg and Poity. Hi, Angie. Oh boy, this has been a busy week for me. Trying to get ready for MRRF, and I've got less time because I'm taking an extended trip. I have a thing I'm going to before MRRF. So I only have today and tomorrow to finish getting ready. So, hi Brian and Robin and Peacemaker. Hey Sanity. Hey Pietro. Sebastian, Andrew, Johan. Hope I caught everybody. Maker Source, thanks for becoming a member. In H3D, thank you. And I hope everybody is having a happy Father's Day as well. Hi, Joel. Hi, Golden Jaguar. This is good. For me, this is good. My wife works, and so she's off anyway. My son's 18. He's holed up in his room. He has wished me a happy Father's Day, though. And we'll do something nice this afternoon, or this evening. So let's get Charlie's Pets in early. I missed yesterday's stream. That's for my back pain. Ooh, I'm sorry. So I screwed up on yesterday's stream, I think. So yesterday was members only stream. If you're a member and you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out. We had a lot of fun in CAD. We did some prep work, some pre work for the switchwire, the Ender 3 to switchwire build. So a lot of requests for doing a little bit of CAD work. So we did that. And I think we had a bit of fun, but I screwed up because when I was prepping for the stream, the chat box here wouldn't show up if I had it set to a members only stream. So I had to set it to unlisted, and that worked, but then I think that screwed up a bunch of notifications. So I just wanted to apologize for that. And it looks like, thanks to Colin, we have 5 new people who can go check out that stream. Thanks, Colin. So anytime, I think one thing you can count on is my members only streams are probably going to be Saturdays, about the same time as my normal streams, 10 o'clock my time. They are not going to be every 4 weeks or whatever, but I'm going to try to do them monthly, and we'll try to find something that's not critical to the channel or whatever to do. Print and chill, a little bit of prep work, that kind of thing. And then I think my idea is to make them public sometime before the next one goes live. So yeah, so I think I screwed that up. So I'm gonna profusely apologize for that. I will figure out if I need to sacrifice this on-screen chat for it to be a consistent experience, that I'm going to turn that off. But I'm going to try to figure out what happened and why it didn't work, and if there's a workaround. So, Golden Jaguar, I got my Annex K3 kit from Puerto Rico and LDO Space Gray frame. Awesome. Let me know how that goes. So I think a lot of people probably either didn't get a notification because of that or whatever. So I'm new to this. Hopefully I'll learn. Hopefully I'll figure it out for next time. Charlie, you really like to go back that way, but you don't need to. Hey, Ivan. Oh, and I'm a little bit behind already. There we are. So if you go to the members only chat, there's a link to the stream there. You should be able to see it there. I think you'll see it in the regular video list, but I'm not exactly sure what all that looks like. I don't think Nero runs on-screen chat for members only streams because he has to do an unlisted stream. And he's doing Patreon and YouTube membership, so you can't really mesh those. So that's probably why, now that I think about it. Yeah, there's probably a permissions thing that happens. Charlie, that's the Thunderbolt port. Yep, he went straight for that stupid cable. It sticks out just enough, and it may be just right to satisfy that chin scratch. I'll try to help him. Hi, 3DP Mamish. Hey, Bill Brothers. Hey, Agent Monroe. Hey, Mike. So Charlie had his follow-up appointment for his kidney stuff on Friday. That's a little bit of news. We won't get results, but the vet says he looks good. He's moving well. So, and this month, Charlie is 15. We don't know exactly what day he was born, but we know it was in June. So, Charlie's a 15-year-old menace. So, anyway, so what the plan is today? I've spent a lot of time. I've spent a lot of time this week kind of prepping for MRRF, getting the Trident packaged up. The Trident did ship out on Friday. It's expected to arrive in Indiana on Wednesday. So we have a little bit of cushion if there are any delays. So I'm happy about that. I hope it's packaged well enough. It's in this big giant flight case with a lot of bubble wrap and foam. So that is on its way. Yep. All the hair. Yes, all the hair is almost grown back. You can tell it's still a spot, but he's pretty much got it back. Hey, Eric. Happy Father's Day to you, too. I got your text. Thanks for showing up. E. Bigford there in chat is one of my best friends. He's local. I've known him for years and years and years. So, actually, I don't think this matters. Eric is the one who is going to end up with the Ender to Switchwire printer. That's who I sent that printer over, and we had a lot of problems printing PLA and getting heat creep jams, and so we're gonna fix that and get that over so he can play with that, and his kids will have a blast with it. So, hey, Pushing Plastic. So, out of curiosity, what did it cost to ship it was a Trident. I think there were some UPS discounts involved because my estimates were higher than it was. The website quoted something like $400 to ship it, but it was a bit less than that. So. Hey, Zenbender. Yes, RC parts will be a great use of that. Hi, Kaylee. Hi, FBWA from Finland. Welcome. Okay, so I don't have a lot of prep here. And I want to thank PF Dennis for gifting 10 memberships. That's awesome. And 10 more folks who can go check out yesterday's member stream. So, I haven't had a ton of time to prep. So what I wanted to do today is kind of hang out and polish up some stuff on the Switchwire here. So, the idea is this is going to be the printer that I'm going to set the ERCF up with first. Hey, RGR51 Gab, good morning. NH3D, how often do you print cat hair into a part? I was just looking at a part yesterday that had 3 strands of Charlie hair embedded in it. So, yeah. Anyway, so the idea today is to kind of hang out, look at a little more, make some progress on the RCF build. This is kind of in between, right before MRRF, trying to get ready for that, right after the Trident build. So I want to get back to this, refamiliarize myself with where we're at, show you guys where I'm at with this printer. I don't remember what we talked about last time, but I had rewired it, and I've rewired the underside, so we're going to take a look at that. We're probably going to look at the easy board here and where it mounts and how it's going to go. And just kind of, hopefully just kind of casually make some progress. So. Not that it makes much of a difference, but I want to see our ERCF on Trident. That could happen. I don't know when, but Steve Tufnell, member for 2 months. Yeah, we're right there. I mean, we're 6+ weeks since I turned that on. I think it's been a positive. Wherefore not? I heard the 5-volt regulator on the easy board can give some people problems. I wonder if it's heat related or the quality of the component. That's this guy here. Hey, Adam S. Adam S is the big winner of our Trident giveaway a couple of weeks ago. That was a very fun, very unexpectedly fun stream. Nero had trouble with his? Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. Is that toolhead board available for Stealth Burner for ERCF? I believe so. I believe there is a Stealth Burner version of this. Now we're running, on the switch wire here, we're running the Galileo extruder with Stealth Burner cooling setup. And that's probably where this is gonna stay. Now I printed a user mod of Wiley's wire cover. It basically just has the back parts that usually clip onto the NEMA 17 stepper cut out. There's some reshaping that was done that made the part too thin in spots, so there's some printing issues. Something to be aware of when you're modifying these parts is just make sure you maintain wall thickness, because there's a spot there that it's too thin. So this has a little spacer that Wiley designed and was really clever, that snaps on, I think it goes this way, snaps on there, which makes that hold it's in place instead of having to glue in place like some of the other versions. So that snaps on and goes there, and then this all will go on here at some point. Yep, and I think it's gonna fit okay. It's a little bulbous. Mike 4D, I got heat sinks for my EC boards I built for the 5-volt regulator. You may need them, depends on how good the regulator is. Okay, I'll have to pick up I may even have some of these TO220. That's the packaging on the 5-volt regulator. I may have some heat sinks from previous projects. What software do you use to modify existing models? Fusion 360. So let's see what we did here. Did I show the electronics after I cleaned up the wiring? Did I show that on one of the previous streams? It's been so long. It's been like 2 months since we worked on this, right? 6 weeks or 6 or 7 weeks. Let's pull the bottom panel required. But the idea is I want to make sure this thing works, make sure it prints. So we might start a short print. drop the feet. Do you have any good tips for learning Fusion 360? Yeah, there's a lot of really good channels out there now. It used to be Lars, what's his name? Was it Lars something? If you search, there's a few really good channels on beginner Fusion 360 on YouTube. So here is, let's get a little close-up camera view here. So I took the Linneo harness and basically just shortened every wire so I didn't have a big loop, and plugged everything in. I don't know that I've actually tested this. Lars Christensen. I thought it was Christensen, but that sounded wrong. Lars is awesome. Some of his content may start getting out of date, but the early stuff is probably still very useful. There's been a few updates to Fusion 360 that might make a couple of things not as easy to follow, but Lars he helped me so much. And then there's a few others that are out there now that are really good. There's one guy who does like case studies, like how to do weird things in Fusion 360 that's been really useful, picking up little tips even now. Someone was asking about the wire tracks that LDO uses. They're like cable raceways, or what else do they call them? They have a couple other names for them. Yeah, cable ways or tracks. Hey, William. Hey, Gary. Pretty much learned mostly by myself, playing around. I got stuck, I turned to YouTube and Google. Yeah. Anyway, all of this has been redone. I think everything's pretty clean. Everything's in its spot. The filament sensor for the ERCF we need to test. Actually, we can probably test that today, maybe. So I'm gonna put this back on here. I think the biggest tip I've seen is turning on Simplify. That is so useful for removing chamfers and stuff, so I can modify. Oh, there's a function for that? I went through all the CAD stream yesterday. Part of it was just deleting fillets and chamfers. I wonder how well that works. I'll have to look at that. I might have learned something there. William Warren, thanks for becoming a member. Does anyone know if the Revo Voron wires are plug and play with the Revo Voron wires are plug and play with the Hart-K toolhead board that comes with the LDO kit? No. The toolhead board that comes with the LDO kit uses ferrules, the wire ferrules, the bootlace ferrules like these for the heater, and then a JST connector for the temperature probe. Now, I think they are compatible with Hart-K's Stealth Burner version of the board. I think he put 2 microfits there for that. But the one that comes with the LDO boards, it is not. So let's turn this thing on and see what happens. See where we're at with it. Hey, Christian from Copenhagen, welcome. Okay, so let's turn it on. Hope for no smoke. I see lights in there. There we go. We are on. Let's see if we can, let's just home. Awesome. Hi, Bruno. Now we're running a Revovoron in here. We did that back when I did a stream on this very earlier this year. We installed the Revovoron on here, so that's still there. Still planning on keeping it there. But it does work. No, I don't have a apparently I never put a filament tensioning screw in there, so we're gonna have to do that. Put that guy there. Where am I gonna get one of those? Where did I put one? Have to bear with me because I wasn't actually expecting that to not be there. I gotta go searching through my stuff. What boxes it could be in, or one could be in. Nope, not that one. Uh-oh. No, I forgot it. I forgot to put it in there. Now I got to figure out where I put one. I have various bits and pieces all over the shop, and I honestly wasn't anticipating. I didn't remember that I had forgotten that. So I got to do some looking around. I've got a backup plan. If I can't find one, I've got a backup plan. Okay, that's enough searching. I'm gonna engage the backup plan. I will be right back. Steal one from another printer for the time being. That's basically the backup plan. I have a unbuilt V2 kit in the other room. I'm gonna go grab it out of there. I stated to use the pinned main body STLs for ERCF based on last open beta. Pinned main body STLs. I don't know. I'm looking for that file, but modded with a filament switch above extruder gears for some additional actions. I'm not sure. That should be in the hex tray, but it's not. Let me see if it's in any of these little bins. I'll find it later. I just don't want to spend, I don't want to spend a ton of time on stream, so I'll just go grab the one out of the, I'll just go grab it from the other. I'll be right back. Pretty sure it's in this motion box here. At least I hope so. What's that part? That. There it is. Need to print ERCF one of these days. The list of parts seems daunting. It is a little daunting. It took me a little bit to get my head around what I needed to print. The thing that's going to be extra daunting is all the macros and the setup, which I need to get going. So I'm going to grab filament tensioner setup from the kits. Cool little custom piece. This is going to thread in here. I'm off mute, yep. That is not, oh, I didn't actually grab threads there. So the Galileo is always a little tough there to get going. I think that's correct, right? I feel like I might be missing something. It's not moving when I turn the lever, so I'm wondering if I'm missing the, no, it's up there. Okay. It just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like it was moving. There we go. Now it's working. I must have had it caught up on something. Is there a cable cover that fit for Stealth Burner, Heart K Rabbit PCB, and LGX? I don't know. There's so many combinations out there. It's actually a little frustrating. There we go. That should be good there. So now we've got that in place. That looks complete now. Paul, isn't it satisfying though to get that close and not waste any filament? It's always a gamble though, right? Have the hardware kit and the rabbit hat staring at me. Probably finish some other projects first. Yeah. Printing Stein. I wish my switch wire would print. I've had it almost 2 months and still have yet to put a print down. Every time, no matter what I do with the Verify heat bed, won't heat up fast enough. What bed are you using? Is it an LDO? Is it from a Prusa? Is it an off-brand? Are you feeding it a full 24 volts? And is your config feeding it full power? Hi, Dennis. So let's look at this thing. Let's look at it here. So I think we're just switch wire.local. Let's see what we have. We're getting readings that are accurate. Let's see if we've got the extruder able to extrude. I'm gonna grab a piece of PTFE. Just temporarily, I'm gonna feed some, just to feed filament in. Just a little piece here. Also, the smaller boards have trouble feeding it enough power. I had to replace mine with an SKR 1.3 and it fixed my heating issue. What smaller boards are having trouble? I haven't seen that with like an SKR E3 Mini. That's what, or this is a 1.4. But I have another switch wire with an E3 Mini. Okay, let's heat this up. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I hit the wrong 2. Let's heat up the printer. Fan turned on, which is good. And see if we can just feed some filament in, see if it's turning the correct direction. You planning to do a conversion of Trident to Tridex one day? I am, and I have most of the parts to do that. I have the dual carriage X-rail, and I have the NEMA 14s that are needed for Eddie's Tridex setup. And I have a extra orange LDO 350 size frame. And I'm gonna take some of the extrusions there and make a 350 by 250 out of my orange Trident, and that'll be my Tridex. Good evening, John. Get this up out of the way, grab us just some random PLA. What do we got? I've got just some white that's almost out. Some stuff I've had forever. And all I'm looking for is, I don't really care about that. There's not enough to worry about. Let's feed this through and see if the feed direction is correct. And it is. It's feeding. And biking planned for today. I have not been on the bike in a few weeks. I've let myself get busy with other things. I need to change that. Eric and I, the friend that was in chat earlier, I don't know if he's still around. We like to go riding together, and we need to get back to that. That's a goal for coming after I get back from MRRF. So we are going to continue. I'm gonna extrude. Just extrude this through. I don't have any macro set up yet for how far it needs to go to extrude. So we're going to do a little quick extrusion test. So we're gonna measure up, ride to MRRF to make up for it. That is a 2,300 mile drive or ride. Print going. Yeah, that's going okay. I had some problems getting up to ABS temp on my switch wire, and that's not too uncommon if you search this Discord. Insulate the bed and tune the heater, verify settings, and that helped. Okay. I finally did a run again today. That's awesome, Chris. I need to get back to running as well. My plan was to ride, get into enough shape to start running again. But I keep letting myself get distracted and sidetracked. Sure, we'll go blue. If I leave after stream, I might make it on time. Except my flight, I fly out Tuesday. John just got here. What's the plan for the switch wire? So we're continuing to work on the switch wire to get it ready for, oh, that focus is going funky. Is that gonna stop it? Let's try that. Sorry about that. We're getting this ready. It has the ERCF filament sensor in the tool head. This will be the platform that I'm gonna run the ERCF on. Autofocus was really confused there. Okay, so we're gonna measure out, I need the glasses for this. So we're just gonna measure out from the top of this PTFE tube I have. Try to get this straight. Right at the 100 millimeter mark. The print surface is confusing it? Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I tried to block the NeoPixel because I thought that's what was causing it. Hi, Kelvin. Silicone Mod 2. John, no, this still has the spacers. Another more content is planning to do the whole comparison between an inductive probe and a micro switch style probe at some point. But we'll also do that on a smooth surface. Okay, I'm going to now extrude. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna turn our feed rate way down and we're gonna extrude 50 millimeters and see where we end up. So now this should be extruding very slow. So we don't want to back it up, cause any resistance in the extrusion. That's why we slow it down for this. Ideally, you would do it cold and just not have a nozzle in there, but that's not practical. So now we're gonna measure what's left, now that that's finished. And we are way, way, way off. So we're at 59 millimeters. So what I suspect is I never changed that. So let's go over here and look at, does anybody know what the expected value for rotation distance is for a Galileo extruder? Does anybody know that offhand? What the expected value is? And let's see how close what mine was set to. We go to the machine, go to printer config. Let's go down to the extruder. Clockwork is about 22.6 something, I think. Yeah, rotation distance here. See, I've still got it set for clockwork. So what is our Galileo expected value? You got 35.6. Let's try this 35.656, okay? Save and restart that. And just in case, let's actually do this at a higher temperature as well, just to make sure we don't have any back pressure there. Oh, I didn't change the rotation, thank you for the gear ratio. Gear ratio needs to change. I forgot to change that. It is not 80 to 20, because this was an M4, remember? 7.5 to 1. So this was an M4. Let's change the gear ratio to the 7.5 to 1 for a Galileo. And let's just go all the way. Every significant figure, right? Every sig dig. And let's just see where that puts us. We'll probably have to adjust that, but let's save and restart that. Oh, and let's just double check to make sure I didn't have a, it should be a 1.8. Yeah, 200 steps per rotation, so we're good. So let's go back here, get our temperature going again. So we'll find out right here whether it's around 34.234 or the 35.2 or whatever. So let's put a new mark. Oh, I mentioned it on yesterday's stream, but thanks to, and I can't remember their name. Give me just a moment. Thanks to Lucas, we have a couple new icons in the emojis. So we got the glasses switching, and don't forget to use the electric screwdriver emojis. How does the gear ratio and rotation distance both affect the extruder? So it's part of the equation. You could theoretically not put a gear ratio in there, but put a whatever multiplier. Would it be a fraction of or a multiplier of that 35 point whatever rotation distance? Those just make the numbers make sense. So if you're like, for instance, I was using an M4 and that's an 80 tooth pulley and a 20 tooth pulley. So that's an 80 to 20 ratio. You don't have to worry about the math yourself. You put what real world parts you have into the configuration and it does the math for you. That's what's really nice about the rotation distance setup that Clipper implemented a while back. It works for the BMG setup. You do a 50 to 17 ratio where you have the 17 tooth pulley or gear off of the stepper going to the 50 tooth BMG spur gear. And then you just have to have the circumference of the drive gears, the Bondtech gears, the circumference of those is your rotation distance. And then using math, it takes the gear ratio with that rotation distance to get your final thing. So then to me, the numbers make more sense. Instead of having to remember what that gear ratio is and doing the math, you just have to put in the actual numbers. Let's see how close we are. Yeah, the expected rotation distance is 4.637 without the gear ratio, which is probably the 35 something, 34 something divided by 7.5, right? Because that's our gear ratio is 7.5 to 1. Marcus, I really like the math that is based on physical properties. Exactly. I really like this setup. Once you get your head wrapped around it, it makes more sense. John, happy Father's Day to you too. Thank you. Let's see. I'm gonna do this again. So we are going to hot end temp. Here, let's refresh. It says it's lower than required. There we are. So we're gonna do 50. We are going to extrude. That should. Yep, it is extruding. Hey, Latine. So the expectation today is we're going to continue working on miscellaneous stuff on this project, make some progress for somewhere between 2 or 3 hours, depending on how much. If we get into something, it's going to take a while, I'll go longer. But the goal is 2 or 3 hours today, because I still have a bunch of stuff to get ready for before I leave to MRRF. Only emojis you can find is the cat? There's some special ones there, Ken. The advantage is all you need is the new gearbox ratio when putting Bondtech gears into different extruder setups. And a good example of that is when you switch to, like, if you put those same gears and stuff into a V0, where you have the 10-tooth gear on the little round pancake stepper. You just change that from 50 to 17 to 50 to 10. Okay, that finished. Let's see how close we are now. We are just over. So I think the 34 point something. So let's try the 34 point something number. What did we have? We can do the math. I'm looking for close here. You can do expected distance divided by measured distance times current value. Something like that. $34.37086. Sounds good. Since I'm doing a pen mark here, we're going to be somewhere close anyway. 34.37086. Let's just do that. I bet you that's going to get us pretty close enough. Let's save and restart. Rotation distance equals previous rotation distance times your measured distance. Oh, the previous rotation distance times the measured extrude distance divided by what you requested. Thank you, Torx Fighter. Thank you. Derek, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. I recommend anybody who are new members or may have missed them to go back and watch our members only stream yesterday. I think it was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing, I was a little apprehensive about doing some of the in Fusion 360 work, but I think it turned out well. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time and hope we're close enough. So let's heat it up. Gary Putnam, member for 2 months. Thank you. The most irritating reels, vines, or TikToks I see all have stupid 200% max volume narrator. Yeah. Mr. Jodadi, greetings from Norway. Hello. If you gift a membership, do you still pay for them months for everyone else? No, a gifted membership is a one-time, 1 month thing. So it does not renew. When you become a member, it automatically renews until you stop the membership. The gifted memberships are just 30 days and done. The timing on my first member stream, a lot of it was, there were 2 reasons. It was the last Saturday before MRRF, and it worked out well that it was within 30 days of me turning on the memberships. So everybody, or it was within 30 days of gifted memberships or something like that. So it worked out. That is up to speed. Let me make a new mark. And I guess that view wasn't super handy. I'm trying to make the tiniest mark just so the easier to see. I mean, easier to measure. Centine, thanks for becoming a member. Hi, Marcio. Marcio? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. From Portugal, hello. Hi, Tunke. Let's see, now we get back, now we can go back here, and I'm going to refresh this again and extrude another 50 at a slow rate. Hey, 3D Experiments, welcome. Okay, the orange looks fire. So this is Paramount orange, ASA. I chose this color because when we were developing Switchwire, I was using a Prusa as the donor printer. So I thought it was appropriate because I was doing every part I could use. The display, the 2004 display, everything was that I could use off the Prusa I used. Except the V6, I didn't use the V6. Let's see where we're at. We are a little short now. So we're somewhere in between that. So if we asked for 50 and we got like 48.5. So let's do the math this time. Let's do the math. We got 50 and we asked for 50 and we got 48.5. So let me bring up calculator. So we got, let's go here. And we are going to, actual was 48.5. Divided by 50. And now we're going to multiply that by 34.37086. 34.37086. So we should be 33.3397. Let's go 3397. 3. So let's copy that, put this here and do one more test before we move on. So save and restart. How is ASA versus ABS? ASA is very similar to ABS. I have found that it does benefit from being dried. I never have to dry any of my ABS, but I do have to dry at least the Paramount ASA. The Paramount ASA is the only ASA I have any experience with so far, so that may be a general property of the material. Is that a Mitutoyo pocket ruler? It is. It was not very expensive, and I guess I couldn't guarantee that it's genuine, but it's really nice. I bought this on Amazon. It wasn't too bad, and it's really nice for just this kind of small stuff. I also bought the equivalent full size. So nice pieces. More tools. ASA has better UV resistance, yeah. But as far as printing, the biggest difference I've noticed is that ASA will absorb moisture, where ABS, I haven't had any problems with it. What temps do you dry ASA at? I have limited luck with drying. I use one of those food dehydrators, the cheap, it's a Rosewell brand I bought on Amazon. The knob is set to about 60 C. I don't have any confidence that that's actually 60C. It's going to be something around there. Ever printed TPU? I just started printing with TPU 85A. Prints so beautiful. Never would have thought that. I've got a few different TPUs. I have Same Smart. I have something Pryline, which seems a little harder than the Same Smart stuff. And then I have Ninja Flex. And I have not had too much luck getting the Ninja Flex to print. But the other stuff prints fine. In fact, I've got some V0 feet that I printed yesterday that aren't perfect, but they turned out okay. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm glad I cut off enough of this. Hopefully this is the last one. And I'm starting to get a little bit of, oops, well, that's fun. I just broke the filament. Let's measure how long it is. Well, let's measure 60. Let's measure to 60. Let's measure to 60, extrude 50, and we should get 10 left over. Get this back up to temperature. Normal drying temp should be just above glass transition temperature. Like I said, I don't know how accurate that is. I turn the knob up and turn it on and leave it there for a couple of days usually, and it seems to work okay. F1's about to start. I'll catch you on the other side then, Lord Gitface. Thanks for being here. Ninja Flex prints well on Mark III's. I do print Noodle. I admit, my go-to printer for flexibles and PET-G, because I don't like to dirty up the nozzles on the Vorons, is my Mark III's. Although I did have success in stealth burner testing, Clockwork 2 testing, I had success with Ninja Flex on it. I couldn't get, not Ninja Flex, the Same Smart TPU on it. I couldn't get the Ninja Flex to print well. How are we doing here? Yeah, that's awesome. We have almost 200 people here today. That still blows my mind. Hi, Steve. My NeoPixels work with the macros, but not automatically with a print. Do you have to add the macros to the... You have to add them... Yes, you have to add your... Whenever you want to change a color or whatever, you have to feed that into your... Or call that from your macros. Whatever you have going on. It won't automatically do it. Okay, this is up to temperature. I'm going to feed another 50 millimeters. I like that you always answer the question, Steve. That's the whole point. This is why I do this. If I'm not paying attention to chat and interacting with chat, then you're just watching me build something. And that, to me, doesn't seem like it would be as fun. Ellen, thank you. Okay. Where are we at? Did we go the wrong way? Yeah, we went the wrong... How did we go the wrong way? This always trips my mind up. This always trips me up as to what direction... So we asked for 50. We got more than that, right? Because we're at 7.5 millimeters left on there. We should have got 10, had 10 left. So we got 50. We asked for 50. We got 52.5. We went the wrong way. So if we have this, so right? No. 50 divided by 52.5. I think that's times, no, it's the other way, right? I get so I get so tripped up on this. 0.5 divided by 50 times this. Is this where we should be? 35.0067. That's what I did last time. I did rotation distance time measured divided by the expected, and we went the opposite direction. That's why I get wires crossed on this all the time. So this makes sense to go the other direction. And this is somewhere in between what we had before, so it makes sense. Yes, it was short the last time. And the last significant figure there rounded up to 2. So let's save this. You know, the bottom line is you do it and you remember what you did the previous time and then do the opposite the next time if it's the opposite results. Diego, greetings for Double 2. Thank you. Thanks for the 1999. So I need to grab another bit of filament here because I broke that one. And maybe I'm gonna grab a different, well, I should use the same filament. It's just a little more difficult to manage because it's the end of the spool and it tries to curl. Let's pull this. Oop. So we over adjusted, wanted more, got more, just too much more, split the difference. Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. So let me feed this through and just make sure it's feeding through so we don't catch anything and cause any issues. Measure this. A tiny dot there at the 100. And turn the speed back down. I'm going to turn it way down. And we're going to extrude 50. There we go. New config value equals old config value times actual extruded amount divided by target extruded amount. Thank you. Let's see where we're at right now. Hi, Stefan. When I'm using a hot end with an easy to remove nozzle, I could do cold so I can just run the same filament up and down. The problem with that is you're squishing it through the drive gears as you repeat. You want to run it fresh. You can't just keep running it up and down. If you did it enough, it's going to squish it to the point where it's not going to squish anymore. But the recommendation would be to run fresh filament for each test. That is right there. So we did it right. We're within like 0.2 millimeters of where it was. I'm gonna call that good for now, but you get the idea. You do this test a few times, you run the formula that I can never remember. But right now we are in the ballpark. We're at like 49.8 to the degree that I can eyeball that with a dot from a Sharpie. That is a great tip, Nathan. Keep the rotation distance formula as a comment in the config file. We should probably put that in the default configs. Yeah. I have to remember that. That is a great tip. I do that for like the Auto Z calibration. I put a little note for myself in there of what direction the number goes and what effect that has. That is a good idea. Okay, I am retract this. There we go. Get that out of there. I'm not going to actually print with this filament. It's about ready to just go away. It's a kind of an annoying LED there, isn't it? So now I want to, I'm going to cool down the tool head, but I want to look at how we test that ERCF filament sensor. And so we need to put a magnet in there. We need to do a bunch of stuff here. So I think we need to pull part of this apart, but let's look for the documentation first. Jim, thanks for becoming a member. The command is already in the Trident default config. Awesome. It might already be there. I haven't looked at the default config in a little bit. I have something. Okay. I was hearing some clicking from over there. I got a print going. Let's go here. And let's go to, I got a bunch of windows open here. I'm just going to recycle. I was looking at stuff. ERCF, GitHub. One could be really tricky and write a macro that you enter with a measured amount and it sets the right value. Can you do that? Hi, Ari. We had a Charlie visit earlier today. Go to the GitHub. Hi, Sierra. Let's go to documentation. I guess the ERCF manual I already have downloaded. It has not updated in 3 months, so I think we're okay. Let me open that up. ERCF manual. You're right. I don't have a camera pointed at him. Here. I don't know if I can get this over here effectively. There we go. And of course, as soon as I pointed at him, he decides it's time to go in the other room. Why on a Trident and not a 2.4? I thought it was designed for 2.4. What are we talking about on a Trident? I don't get the question, sorry. Michael on Teaching Tech has it on his, calibration site, okay. It'd be fun to see you convert an Ender to a switch wire. 14Q, look at yesterday's member-only stream. You remember you have access. We started on that. Now, just for everybody else, we did some work. I wanted to modify some files before we do that build. The entire build will be on a public stream, but we did some preview stuff for it. Some prep work. Prep work that I would have done on my own before, so it works out well as a members content. Okay, let's look at this documentation. Why on a Trident and not on a 2.4? Oh, switch wire. Okay, I see. Bellin is looking, why are we putting it here? Because this is easy. The switch wire does make for an easy, small, a big part of why I'm doing this is we've got this filament path here that's nice and short. I'm planning on running the filament out of this rep box. So it all just kind of fits together, I think, and is easier to get on camera for another thing. So. That's okay. Why can I not find the members only stream? You should be able to find it in the post. At the very least, you should be able to find it in the post, Printingstein, in the members community posts. What's my buffering strategy? To be determined. Right now, there's no strategy. I'm wondering how well it's going to work with things up out of the way, but I think Nero's already proven it's not going to work great. But I don't know exactly. I thought I was going to, for buffering, so we're talking about buffering for the ERCF, I thought I was going to use the rep cord, their buffer, the spring-loaded buffer, but someone said that might put too much tension or might not have enough buffer distance. So I'm still exploring that. I may still try it, because I can order all the parts for those and put it together and it fits within my rep box. But we'll see. Reminds me where Sanity? Sanity's probably on a train. I think she was around earlier. So let's go back to here. And now we're gonna find testing the sensor. So clipper config, make sure the filament sensor pin on the clipper config has a pull up. So we've got, I can't copy and paste that. Where do I get that to copy and paste it? Look if it's here. Filament sensor, no. So it's probably in Clipper files, and which piece is this going to be in? Did she get potato roll? Just ordered a bottom panel for my Trident. Hope to finish in the next week. That's good because it's not finished until there's a bottom panel. It said it was in ERCF hardware just under the picture. In the ERCF hardware.config. Thank you. I'm glad you guys can read. Hey, I found the right one. So we just want the sensor just so we can test the functionality. Filament switch sensor, tool head sensor, right there. Okay. So let's go here. We've got a couple of things we need to do before this will work. So let's go down to, where do I want to put this? Somewhere that makes some sort of sense. These can get commented out. These are my Y adapter macros. And while I'm here, I'm gonna comment those out. I think I'm gonna I'll just put the filament sensor right here. Now this pin may not be correct. Let's figure out where we plug that in, because I didn't actually note that. So let's save and close and then turn off the printer. So next week, doing clicky and adding a pair of the ESP32 cameras on the 2.4 should be interesting. Fun. So we're gonna shut down the printer and figure out where I plug this thing in. I should have checked when we were looking at it before, but I didn't think about it. So that's powered off. Unplug it. Let's pull the panel, see where I plugged it in. Which glasses? What do we have? X end stop. We got filament sensor here. So we're in E1 detect. E1. So right here, the middle, right here is where the filament sensor is plugged in. So now, someone rewind the stream and look. I don't know if you'd be able to tell that. Did you self-source the ERCF or is it a DFH kit? So this kit was purchased by someone else on the Voron team. DFib purchased it from DFH when ERCF was in 1.0 version. So the bits and pieces are from a DFH kit for a 1.0. I've bought the additional little pieces to make it a 1.1 kit. And DFib sent it to me because he wasn't gonna end up using it. So I said I could use it. So that's why it's a four position, and yeah. So let's go to, I have an SKR 1.4. So let's go out to the pin map for that. So Big Tree Tech GitHub. I don't want the schematic. I want the pin map. Keep meaning to take photos and label them when I do wiring, but always remember too late. I take photos, and I probably have a photo of this, but it was easier to just pull the panel and check. So we are on E1. Let's see if we can zoom this in. E1 detect, this pin here. So E1 detect is 1.25. See? So that's the important part. 1.25 is the pin. So if we go button this back up, again, so getting ready for MRRF, I'm planning on taking one of my V0s. So that's a big part of what I'm getting ready, is making sure it's set to make the trip. I bought a knockoff Pelican case so I can check it on the plane and hope it makes it okay. On a SKR 1.4, the docs say to use the NeoPixel port for the SSR. I want to use that for stealth burner and the extra heater MOSFETs for fan. Can I use a servo port for the SSR? On what printer? What printer are you talking about, Mike? Let's turn this back on. Let's get my camera angle back down. Voron 1.8. Why not use the bed output for the SSR? You can use for, you're talking about for the heated bed, right? Just use the bed output. Which Peli did you get to fit the V0 in? It's a knockoff. It's not a Pelican. It's fairly large though. I've got enough room for the V0 and probably a spool of filament and maybe a little spot for a box of tools. Yeah, that orange is so bright. It's so nice. I like it. I love this orange. I really want like a more burnt orange ABS though, preferably with sparkle. That would be awesome. Does the switchwire Z cable chain run on the Z axis rail? It doesn't run on it. It's the fixed end. Are you talking about there? It can't move into the rail. See, I'm pushing it this way. The fixed end is right here, so it keeps it from going that way. And then the piece here is tall enough to keep it from falling back on the other side. It doesn't rub on it because you use the fixed end on this side to keep it from doing that. Oh, now the focus is going crazy. Or it's probably trying to focus on me. Okay, so we found that 1.25 is what we want for that pin. So let's go here to printer config and down here to where we put the... So 1.25. Okay, so now we can save and restart. And if we go to here and query the end stops, we have, don't we have, wouldn't we have one set here? Couldn't that set? It doesn't show up there? Filament switch sensor, toolhead sensor. Thought it would show up there. So what does it say here? Use your default printer control front end like main cell and check the sensor behavior. Toolhead sensor, where does that show up in main cell then? Toolhead sensor, there we are. And what is this? Empty? Or just say, oh, empty. Okay. So let's pull this off because I haven't put the magnet in there yet. So let's get that all set up. See you, Chris. Let's see how much we can pull this apart without turning everything off. Hi, Derek. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Oh, sorry about that noise. And can we just put this like, maybe like that? Let's let that hang. Now we need a magnet, right? Just put that in there temporarily. And then we should be able to run a piece of filament in here. Let's see if we can make enough room here to just run this in by hand. Right now, the gears are meshing a little bit, so let's see if I can just... Find a piece of filament that was in there. That was weird. There we go. So now, if that goes through there, so now what is the state of that? How do I tell? How are we supposed to tell on here? Because that's not looking like this. An example of the filament sensor with no filament inserted on fluid. So where can we tell that on? If we go to machine, we don't get an end stop here. I would have thought we would have seen it here. I check an end stop here. Hey, Sanity. But we have a tool head sensor here. How do I check the state of that? What's the command for checking? Let's look at the instructions. That's past that. Well, let's try flipping it over. It says empty. What if we flip the magnet over here? It doesn't do anything. You think I have the tool head sensor listed incorrectly? It will change from empty to detected, but I have it here. Let's look here. Let's look at the documentation, which says filament switch sensor, tool head sensor, and then the switch pin should be, they say we need a pull up. Thank you, column drum. And thank you for, I was gonna grab that name. Let's see what happens here. Whoa. That just crashed it. Why did that crash it? I don't want to push this magnet in until it works. Can I get a stack of magnets here and help with that? Oh, hey, there we go. I actually heard the washer pull back when I put this. I put a stack of magnets there, and it pulled the washer back. So let's see what happened. We had something happen here though. Look at this. Internal error on web request. So let's firmware restart and see what happens. There's a hole in the back of the part to push it back out. Not on this version of the part. Well, maybe. It's offset. Oops. That's there. Oh, hey, there we are. Tool head sensor detected. So now, if I run this through here, it's not feeding filament now. I can't get it to pull it out. It's not changing. So now put it in. It's past that point, but it still says detected. Oh, tool head sensor detected. So let's go to machine. Does it show here now? No. We go back here and do that. That immediately crashes the interface. Why does it do that? So right now, filament sensor detected. Pull that out. Refresh the interface. It says detected. And if I turn that off, it says disable. Detected. But why does that command crash the interface? Mine showed detected when it was both in and out when the magnet was the wrong way. Okay, let's try that. I pushed this in a little bit, so I'm gonna have to use something to, there we go. So let's try the other way. Let's pull this out. Let's try putting that in, and then right now it says detected. And it doesn't change. Why is it crashing? Why is it crashing that? Oh, it's crashing the board. Yeah, you're right. But why is it causing an error? That command there is causing an error. Always shorting things that shouldn't be shorted. Okay, well let's check the wiring. Let's shut this down so I can turn off the printer. Shut down the interface. This is good. We've got a problem to solve. Let's look at our wiring first. So I am going to turn this over so I can see and maybe get a little view for you to see. Let's unplug that. Switch to glasses. Let's we have an ERCF tool head board here. Where is the documentation on this? Is Clipper up to date? The crashing could be a fixed bug, maybe? I feel like I want to check, like here, if we look at the, if I followed the wiring here, does this look correct? For the, we got, it doesn't. It's not the correct. So let's go up to the, Galileo wiring here and see if things make sense. So this is the Galileo clockwork. Let's go up here. So according to, the question is, does the ERCF board already have a pull-up resistor? So this isn't going to the easy board. This is going to the SKR 1.4. Is there any indication on what way this should be? So, signal, ground, voltage in that order. Yeah, I'm thinking I've got a wiring issue, so I need to try to track this, trace it, and then I'm gonna use my multimeter to make sure things make sense. Okay, so coming out here, kind of hard to see, but in here, I've got the sensor coming out. So we got a yellow wire, black, and then red. And that's the correct order coming out of the sensor. Now looking at the ERCF, I mean the tool head board, we've got ground, signal, and then voltage. So that should be correct. Sorry, don't know if it was wired to the SKR direct or not. Yeah, I think that's correct. So the pins here, this is the sensor, and we've got the black, yellow, red, and the silk screen on the board is GSV. So ground, signal, voltage, right? And then on the tool head board, what I want to do is see what wire should be the sensor. Is it on the 2-pin or is it over there on the 14-pin? And then I want to make sure that I've got it plugged into the correct port on the SKR. So where is the pin out for, where's the pin out for this tool head board? Is it on Hearts? It's probably on Hearts GitHub. Let's try the hardware and that's the stealth burner. Is there an afterburner toolhead PCB? Let's see what we have here. I want the ERCF version, or is that going to be over on, oh, there we are. ERCF version. What's the pinout? I guess you could continuity check to check for shorts, right? I want to see the ERCF version. Is that over on the ERCF GitHub? Let's see. No, I don't see that. Do we know where the pinout is for the, does anybody know where I can get that? Thought it would be here. I don't think there are any solder jumpers on this version of the board. It's something about voltage defaulting to 24 volts, and then you need to change a solder jumper for 5 volts on the probe port. Well, that's the probe port. It's a 4.0 folder from memory. Okay. Not that one. No. This is the regular version. It's not the ERCF version. Where is the solder jumper on this thing? Well, let's pull this apart. Oops, sorry for just the hand view. Let's pull the stealth burner off. Then we have thermistor and end stop, probe, the filament sensor, and stepper, and I guess let's pull the main, well, let's see if we can pull it off here now. Oh yeah, we did all that. So let's check it. Pull that off. I don't know if you can see, but we have ABL is 5 volts. Part cooling fan and hot end fan are both 24 volts, and filament sensor is 5 volt. So we did that. So I'm glad we double checked, but we did that now. But we can see on the back, here's our filament sensor pin. So let's make sure that let's just start. Did not follow backside. Yep, just checked. ERCF is not for the faint of heart. Nope. So we are going through the process though. So I've got my multimeter here, and I'm gonna just start toning out to make sure things are going. in the right spot. Did I cut the traces? Well, let's find out. We should not. If I have this here, we should not get any. Yep, we're not. So there are no traces that needed to be cut. They're all set. I'm not getting, see, so I'm getting continuity there, but I'm not getting continuity where I shouldn't, right? Those and those. So no traces to cut on that one. So we're okay there. So now let's find out. Filament sensor should be here, and according to this, it should be the middle one. So if that's the correct pin, yep, and I can see the trace going along there. I know this view is terrible. So that's our filament sensor, which is this bottom wire here on the thing. So let's flip the printer over again and double check that we have it plugged into the right spot on the bottom of the printer. And you have another version. Harkey told me that it was designed with defaults. This one does not. So we just checked that. So with the multimeter, we checked that we don't have any continuity between the wrong sides of those solder jumpers. I didn't check the Clippy log yet, Agent Monroe. We've got something going on here. Or we're double checking that we don't have a wiring issue. Okay, let me get my glasses ready here so I can do quick swaps. If we look at the Big Tree Tech, the ground is the center, 5 volts is towards the stepper drivers, and signal is towards the other side. So if we look at this here, signal is in the right pin. Now the question is that the wire that goes back where we think it does? So let's find out. See, can I get a probe in there and unplug that? So now we should get, let's grab our tool here. It should be this one. I'm gonna hold that there, and then I'm gonna try to probe. Yep, that's it. That's the wire we want it to be. That is the wire we want it to be, so. Let's see, what's the thing on the bottom of the printer? What thing on the bottom of the printer? That thing on the bottom of the printer, you mean the bottom panel? Is that what you're talking about? Have a great time at MRRF. Got to run for Father's Day activities. See everybody later. See you, Bill. Thanks for being here. Okay. This is wired correctly. The tool head board, as far as I know, is wired correctly. So what's going on? Let's turn this back over and take another look at the tool head board just in case. Bottom panel. What is that? In my opinion, it should be required for a serial, unless it's a V0. So looking at this again, none of those. If we go through and check all of these, we don't have any shorts between the 5 and 24. So all that's correct. Everything is set to the right thing. So do we have a software issue that's causing that bug? Or do I have a bad Hall effect sensor? What do you guys think? Start putting this back together. Nero's went through and the whole issue was a weak magnet. But why are we getting, why is the board crashing when we query that end stop? That's really bugging me. Why is the board crashing when we query that end stop? What do we got? Am I missing something? Maybe the tool head board is touching metal on the backside towards the extruder. There's nothing for it to touch. There's literally nothing anywhere close for it to touch. You see that? There's nothing over there. It's spaced off quite a bit. We tried the magnets both ways and it doesn't seem to make a difference. For the crash, I'd look at the log. I agree. We need to get there next. I got a non-functional Hall effect board on my 2.4 kit, so I get the sense that they are not the most reliable sensors. It's on querying. When you query it, it crashes. Which is weird because nothing, I don't know. Let me plug this back in. Let me get the things. So that, and we already I double checked the, well, here. Let's pull this off again. Let me double check that the pinout on this is correct. So I should be able to see 5 volts. I should be able to see, oh, that print finish, nice. I should be able to see 5 volts on the 5 volt side. Yep. And I'm not getting any shorts anywhere. I don't know if you guys can hear the tone or not, or if it gets canceled out. But the pinout is all correct. Let me plug all this back in and we'll check the software side. Okay, so let's check the software side now. Config pull up, pull down, possible to measure voltage on input pin when triggered empty. Total freeze, or does Moonraker just lose contact with Clippy? I'll show you. If it was a hardware short, it would short as soon as you turn it on. I agree. I'm really puzzled by what it's doing. Pull the sensor out and move the magnet directly in front of it without any washer in the way. I don't want to pull that thing out if I can avoid it. Everything is buried in there. You have the same pin called out twice in your config. I shouldn't. It should give me an error if I did that, right? So let's go here. We are using E1 detect 1.25 as the, that's where we're plugged in. Hey, Theodore. Go back here. It doesn't show up there. I wish it would. If I did this, and if I say, oh, that's querying the filament sensor, but here, watch. If we do that, it immediately crashes. So internal error on web request. G-code script, once the underlying issue, use the firmware restart. So let's firmware restart. And if we go to the machine and open the Clipper, download the Clipper log, open the file. Where'd my mouse go? So here's the Clipper log. All the setup. Maybe you could wire up a micro switch. Possibly. Connect it instead and check manually. I might even have an easy way to do that. I might have an easy way to do that. It's only a 2-pin connector, but I can fix that. I'll put that off to the side and in my back pocket. Do you know if there will be an alternate stealth burner upon release that keeps to the original aesthetics more? I think the stealth burner on a legacy would look off, but added cooling. So the closest that would be there, Matt, is the ABBN. That would be improved cooling without the angular aesthetic. Search for ABBN. Do you think that 0.04 standard deviation on what is enough? Let's go down here and see if we can find the error. See if it tells us anything more. Query sensor, it just says internal error on web request, file webhooks. This is all like, what's the G-code command to query another? Can someone paste that while I'm looking through here? MCU shutdown command request. I think that's from me shutting it down. I think if we went further down, we'd find another. Yeah, and then it goes back into the config, and the second time I did this. You copied the command from the chat, the string is corrupted and broke the command parser? It shouldn't. Really? You think that it's as simple as that? What's the query end stop command? What's the query end stop command? There's nothing weird in here. Just query end stops. Yeah, there we go. That worked. Query filament sensor sensor equals toolhead sensor. Okay, typed out. Oh, well, there we go. Says filament detected. What if I pull this out? Filament detected. Well, we got somewhere. That's really annoying. All of that because of a bad character from a copy paste. Okay, so this is, I gotta try the magnet the other way now. So let's see if I can get this magnet off because it's almost all the way in there. See if I can get my flush cutters on here and get a grip on it. Ah, I'm cracking it. Ah. Okay, next try, the edge of a razor blade to try to pry it out. I don't know that I can get this out. Trying to capture it. Trying to get a grip on it with the edge of the... Ah, there we go. Aha! So that was in there that way. Now we got to try this way. See if we can... Okay, let's try that again. Filament detected. Filament detected both ways. See if we can get that magnet, that piece out of the way. I didn't hear the washer moving either. And I've got another magnet stuck in here. Do I have a stronger magnet that can maybe help pull that out? No. Oh, this means pulling this apart to some degree. Okay, we can do that. I was using a stack of magnets, and it's not pulling the washer. The washer's getting stuck. Now I remember it moving, but if it's not moving reliably, I got that one out. If it's not moving reliably, we're gonna have a problem. Now, if I go there, I get filament detected. Now let's put a magnet in here. Actually, let's just pull this out. Yeah, I'm not hearing it move. So let's pull this apart. Let's pull this apart and see if we can get that to move more reliably. Fought it for a while. Well, this is a good time to do it then, right? This is good prep work, because we would have hit this at some point. So let me shut down the printer. I'm glad I took some time today to do this then. So we got to do this. It needs to be worked on it anyway. So that is turned off. I can't believe that was all freaking text input problem that caused that error, the system to crash. That is a lesson learned. Hey, Maker Viking, welcome. We're gonna pull the extruder off. I'd be testing the aerodynamics of the extruder assembly. Nah. It's actually the second time it's hit me. I'm not very good at learning a lesson then. That's a little disappointing. I'm doing well, Maker Viking. I am very much busy getting ready for MRRF. But trying to make progress on some of these projects as well. Let's pull that and that. Now, oh, we got to pull all these. Okay. I guess I'll pull all of this. I moved to the beginning of that line on this one and it didn't come up. Oops. Ugh. That and pull these. Actually, let's just pull this and this. Now are we free? Stepper. There we go. Okay, so we are open. Oh, I can get to, I think, you see light through there? Here, you see light through right there? I think I can get to the magnet if it gets stuck right through there. I'll have to remember that. Let's crack all the, I can hear the magnet. Where are my magnets? Okay. Oh, those are the short magnets. That moved. Okay, I think I need to pull this apart. So I'm gonna pull this apart and see how clear that pathway is and go from there. I mean, I can hear that. I don't know if you can. Hey Chris, welcome back. You missed a little wild goose chase on a problem that ended up being bad character input. And you missed, we're not able to get the Hall effect sensor here to work properly. Is that, and oh, there's the washer. That, and this is one of the nicer washers. It is a little, oh, that's my, let's see if it's, okay, that was my screwdriver, not it. Let's take a little file and get the edge of this, like we did on the others. I never did do this on this one. So more learning. Just a little bit. Uh-oh, did I lose you guys? OBS just said it had a problem. Is it back? Where are we at? Are we back? Just for a second, okay. Yeah, OBS popped up with a message I couldn't read in time. Okay, I have some emery, basically nail file stuff here. I'm gonna try to go the extra mile and polish this a little bit. Let's go to these now. I noticed yesterday, Nero's stream, he was losing the camera, a little black. It would just flash black. And I noticed my camera was doing that yesterday as well when I was not on stream, but doing other stuff. Okay, nice dirty fingernail, so let me. Clean that a little bit. Okay, that is even under my readers here, that is really smooth. So I'm gonna go with that. And then in here, let me get a little bit of flashlight action going here. That looks really good in there. I'm gonna hope that everything was in the washer. It moves smooth. And then I think I can use a screwdriver in here to push that out. Yep, okay. So let's try getting this back together and see if it works any better with a smooth, with this washer kind of massaged. This is not a stainless washer. This is the same nice washers that are working great in the selector. These are very magnetic. Actually, let's go this side. Just do a little more polishing around the edge in case I created any burrs. That is very smooth. Nothing like an iron washer at all. All my insulation and solder joints look okay in here. Let me, just because, I'm going to pull this sensor out and compare it to the instructions and just double check that I have it incorrect, that I have it installed correctly. Oh, and we can actually we can kind of mock all of this up since I have this off. Let's see if we can get that. Get that going, right? I guess let's mock it up while it's apart. So we're gonna need all this stuff plugged in. Get that out of the way. This is gonna go right here. This is gonna go right here. Can we get away with, we can probably get away without plugging some of this in, but let's plug in as much as we can. We don't need to plug the heater in. We're not going to turn it on. I'll move this out of the way so we can get to it. And do we need I don't think we need the fans plugged in. We're not going to turn anything like that on. Is that enough? Is that enough to turn on and test? Good night, Nathan. Thanks for being here. So that should be enough for us to test this, right? Just set that right there. And grab a longer power cable. So I was using a really short one before. Everything else is not gonna short. Yeah. What do we think? Good idea? Looks like it's on. Let's go here. Try again. Do we still have that in the, yeah, that's still there. So if we do that, we are getting filament detected. Is that expected? And if we hold a magnet near it, filament detected. Let's try the magnet the other way. Filament not detected. Okay, success. Wow, we've tested something. Oh, and I am right in the way. So let me move this up here. There we are. So see? So now we should get detected. And now, next to it, putting the magnet next to it, not detected. Woohoo! So the Hall effect sensor functions. So let's shut down again and put this back together. So the big thing we need to do is get this back into the tool head. Make sure we get it installed completely. So that goes all the way in there. And then a little screw here to lock it into place. Okay. Yeah, we got this thing all the way apart right now just to test functionality. So now that falls right in and falls right out. I gotta get the rest of this all back together. So that's there. Can you wire it in like that and test again? Yes. We are going to, I'm just getting this and make sure I didn't accidentally lose that washer. Yeah, it fell right out. Can I wire it in? Can we? Do I want to put that stress on there? Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. So I don't want to pull on things too much. The washer's in there. This is in here. This is there. Now we know I can get to the spot to push the magnet out. That's there. It's there. Why is that not wanting to thread in? Okay. Oh, because that's too long of a screw. That's why. It's the wrong screw. And a deer. This one goes here. That's still moving. So now we kind of have to pretty much reassemble this to get stuff in the right spots. So let's go ahead and do that. Yes, I don't think anything I've done so far would really be a benefit to using the ES15, but I do need to remember. I see the emoji. I don't think what I've done so far would really help. Like right here, I can't get to it with the ES15. Doesn't do any good to have the emoji if I don't pay attention to it though, right? I need to pay more attention. Okay, this. Thanks for the stream. It's time for me to go see my dad. Have a good stream and happy Father's Day. Thanks, NH3D. Thanks for being here. Hope you have a happy Father's Day as well. Okay. See you, Evil. Where are we at? We're at 2.5 hours. These things plugged in. I guess I might as well put this in as well. Okay, so that can still go off to the side there so we can get to what we need to. The only other thing is the ABL and then power it on. Hey, 007 FE, thank you. Happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers. So I think I'm gonna try, the next step is gonna be going ahead, since I can get to it, I hope I can get to it from the back even still. I'm gonna push these magnets all the way in to test functionality. So we're gonna go back here and reconnect. We should be able to see that we have filament detected, but we should have filament not detected. So that moved the magnet. So let's see, let's just hold that in place and see what this reports as. Still filament detected. Okay, let's try moving the opposite and hold that in place and try. Everything is filament detected. So I just need to pick one of these and push it all the way in and see if we can get it to. So that is pushed all the way in. We have 2 magnets there. Let's see what it says. Filament not detected. Woohoo. Woohoo! Okay, so now let's throw a piece of filament in here. And that should say filament detected. Now pull it out. Filament not detected. Hey, looky here. Let's do it again. Let me get this. And filament detected. Pull it out. Okay, I don't know that I'm out all the way. I was seeing how far I need to come back. Oh yeah, I wasn't out all the way, sorry. Filament not detected. We are success. Filament detected. Filament not detected. Filament detected. How many times do I have to do this to make it? Filament not detected. Awesome. We are working. I'd turn that macro into that command into a macro. Yeah, you're right. I probably should. Oh, it's working. That's awesome. We are another step closer, another success closer to having this thing going. So now let's move this guy over here and I want to change some of this routing just to make sure things are. How are we going to route this? I think I want that to go there. I want this also to go up there. That one's probably okay right there. Right like that, I think. Oops. There we go. Where'd my... There they are. There we go. Where are we at? It's working. Had Discord waiting in the wings just in case. Ah, we got it. We got it. That is exciting though. I think that can probably go right there. Let's see if we can get this cover on. I know this cover is going to be kind of a pain in the neck to get on. What size screw am I going to want for this? I think probably a 20. And it needs a little bit of reaming. Where's my 3 ream? There it is. Sorry about the view in my head. I got a little bit of elephant's foot there, so that'll just help this to go through, and that's probably okay. Awesome. Okay, I'm not gonna try to do this when this thing is on, so let's shut it down again. That is exciting. Hey, Frederick. Pull that, and this guy It's just gonna go over all of this. Hopefully I can get it to hit the right spot. These covers are just, they can be very finicky. Where is, oh, there's the spot. Now where's the other spot? This I need feel. I need to be able to feel where that was. There we go. That looks good. What length did you use? I have to attach mine tomorrow. I used a 20 millimeter. And then one of my concerns was whether it hit the belts on this side with that, but it clears. It clears by a good amount. Dave Kennedy, where did you get that cover? I can show you. I suggest that the person that modified this make a couple of tweaks, because when they changed it, they got a couple of the walls a little too thin. So I'm gonna point you to it, and it works, but I think it could probably use a little bit of adjustment. Let me see if I can find it. Frederick, thanks for becoming a member. Yeah, a lot of stuff hits on the 1.8 because the XY joints are upside down, Mike. Let me open up Discord here and bring up where I know I found that. I found it in one of the channels. Okay, here, Dave. Here is a link to that cover. Hi, Brian. Time for a Trident. Oh, yes. Yeah, Mike could do a Trident conversion, right? Okay. So why don't we look at next steps? So we're probably done building today. That was really good though. That was I'm glad that we hit that on this stream, because that took a bit of time, and I'd hate to have had planned to come back and make some like real progress on the rest of the system and had to run into that. So this was a great stream for that. I'm pleased that how that went. So now at this point, we are fairly confident in, and we can double check that. Let's turn this thing back on and check that filament sensor again, because that was really cool to have that working, and I just want to see it keep working. So that's, considering how much trouble we had with that sensor, this was a great opportunity to work on that. So when we come back, after I get back from MRRF, we're gonna dive into the rest of the setup and how it's gonna be mounted, and start thinking about the macros, which scare the crap out of me, trying to figure those out on stream. But with your guys' help, I'm sure we can get it done. So let's double check the sensors working. Let's look at kind of next steps where we're gonna get, and then wrap up the stream. So, hi Wolfgang. I'm really impressed with the Stealth Burner. I just installed it on my Elegoo Neptune with the dual Bowden M4 extruder parts are printed in the parts kit, and new steppers are out for delivery. Awesome, have fun with that. Easy stuff. Yes. We will figure it out, whatever it is, right? I'm just still, by all appearances, that command was fine, right? I was not expecting that to be a copy paste, some Unicode error or whatever. Let's go back in here. If we go back to that command again, it should say filament not detected. I can't feed this through like I did before, so let's get an extruded. Let's heat up the hot end. Derek, $2. Do you have a link for the Panzercam? Yes. While we're waiting for that to heat up, I will help, because I fumbled through this on yesterday's stream, on the members stream. Here is how I found it. How did I find it? Do I still have it up? If I still have it up, that would be awesome. No, I don't. Okay. I found this by going to Voron or 666. I happen to know that the user's name is, I am doing terrible at typing. Slider666 is their GitHub name. And if we go to Voron users and printer mods and go down to Slider666, and it's been removed here, but if we go to the history and go back to, let's go back to March and browse files, and now go to printer mods. Go to Slider. There it is. Now I'm going to paste this link for you. But it was removed for some reasons that I'm really hoping that it gets put back up. But for now, it's going, I'll post that link for you. So, there we go. This is probably heated up. We're up to temperature, so I'm going to extrude. Extrude again. Why isn't this? I'm not hitting. Oh, because it wasn't actually engaged. There we go. Okay, so now we've put filament in, and filament detected. Awesome. That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. So next steps. Let me hit cool down on here. We're probably going to end right at, in about 13 minutes, we're going to end the stream. So we're going to do a little bit of next steps, and then anything you guys want to chat about, and then call it at 1 o'clock my time. So let me cool that down, and let's go back to the ERCF. Where was that? Where did I have that? Oh well. ERCF GitHub. The link camera in the Panzercam is 70 degrees. Correct, and it works great for a Voron 2. The concern, there are wide angle versions of these cameras. And this is the wide angle version. The problem with these, it's a slightly different shape. In Heart K, if you go to his GitHub, there's modified files for this, but it comes with a very short USB cable. So you need to figure out how to extend that. Heart K has some great information on that though. I think this is a 120-degree camera. Hi, John. Welcome. Okay, so let's go back to the ERCF page. For the Trident, it shows less than 1/4 of the build plate. I don't think so. This is, so that 70-degree camera is right there. So that, but you're right. Mine's a 250 build, and I don't have it adjusted great. That would be probably where I would want it to be. That's the view on a Trident at about Z20. Oh, I hope you had a good trip to Paris, John. That sounds awesome. I've never been on that side of the pond. So this is the Panzer Observer mount with the narrower focus or narrower field of view camera on a Trident. So. Okay, back to the project. Some of the things I still need to decide on is how I'm gonna mount it. So do we have some, I think Carrot Feeder is where we want. And where do we find like mounts? STLs. Is this the gearbox? No. Where do we find the mounts? It was a work trip to our Paris office, so mostly work meetings, but some fun, including wine tasting at a fine vineyard near Dijon. Awesome. Where do we find, oh, is this it? Supports? We got V1 or V2. 3030 switch wire with panels. And let's look what these, see what these look like and see how these go. So these are pretty simple. Look like some pretty simple parts. We will probably go without panels at first, just to keep everything open. So I'll print these and we'll see what it looks like. $102 in Paris? Holy moly. Okay, so mounts, I'm gonna print these and we're just gonna go with it. If we feel like we need to change something up, then we can do that. The other part that I still need to work on, we need to work on is, if I go back one more, the easy board parts and finishing this up. Hey, Dark Neutrino. And configuring this and getting everything hooked up. In the previous stream, we soldered all this together. So that's this guy. Now I've yet to solder the little controller here on it because I haven't decided if I want to try to replace these and plug it in or just direct solder it. But So do we have anything else we want to chat about? I think today I'm pleased. That went, I mean, we had a problem, of course, but we worked through it, right? Figured it out. Took some time today that we don't have to take next stream. Oh yes, and Kelvin, I'll either find a heatsink in my hardware bins, or I'll buy a set of heat sinks. I hope this thing works. Yeah, this is one of those little, I don't know. I guess there's no markings on it, or if there's anything on the bottom side. Yeah. Arduino XI something. XIO. I'm playing with super slicer settings, trying to make sure I get Z-hop on movements. Trident keeps breaking torture egg loose. How's your filament temperature and cooling? Are you causing some curling from that? Let's see if we can get another Charlie visit to end the stream. You gonna come up here, Charlie? Ugh. There we go. He can get some. We can throw a bunch of hair on the printer. How about maybe Chris reducing your or increasing your minimum layer time on these guys? These were the first prints off of the LDO Trident kit, and remember all this curling I was getting? The only thing I changed was minimum layer time, besides bed temperature, and it turned out so much less curling and so much better. Just that change, no other change, no change in extruder temperature. Try just, it'll slow down your print, but if the quality goes up, that'll be good. I duplicated that with a different filament and it still turned out really good. I think this is printed solid silver. If I want hair, get a German Shepherd. Yeah. I don't want that much hair. Kelvin, I think I set it to 15 seconds. I think I set it to 15 seconds minimum layer time. And that's in the filament cooling section in Prusa Slicer, I think. It just gives it more time in between layers to cool down. Charlie is going to go nuts next week. It'll be the, oh geez. It'll be the longest in many years that I've been away from the house. Which, is it the E3D egg you're trying to print, Chris? That is just a tough print anyway. Is it this guy? That one didn't turn out too bad. I dropped it at some point, so the center egg stack broke off, but it was intact when the print finished. That is just a tough print. I couldn't get it to print on certain filaments. Okay. So I think with that, we're gonna call it. I wanna thank everybody who's here. I hope to see many of you next week at MRRF. Thank you for everybody who joined or gifted memberships, anybody that donated. I'm glad that we made some progress on the ERCF. I think I was a little wondering whether it was worth doing a stream today, but it turned out to be very worth it to me. We had a success. So with that, thanks again. And we will not see you next weekend. I'll be at MRRF. I am not going to be creating any content, but if I take any cool pictures or videos, I'll share those. Other than that, we'll see you the weekend after MRRF. So thanks again, everyone. Be safe. Have a good Father's Day. And we'll see you next time. Bye.